Oh me, oh my, oh, my pizza pie-o. I threw it high into the sky. Woo! Shit's getting real out here. Whoa. As my buddy Richie would say, I'm with the shits. I'm with the shits out here. Yowzer. I haven't made a video in a minute. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to say it is what it is. You know, life gets lifing and all that happy horse shit. Bring you up to speed on what's been going on with me. Still at the same company, still doing specialized flatbed. I'm on a step deck curtain side right now. Picking up in Canada and going down to Old Fort, North Carolina. Not sure which routing I'm going to take yet. I'd prefer, with the inclement weather that we've been experiencing this last couple days, I'm thinking not so much headed through the turnpike. I'm thinking maybe 75 down to the 40, over to the something like that, right? But anyways, it's been hit or miss. You know, the tariffs have really thrown a monkey wrench into the work that I do. But things have picked up here. Oh, don't say I don't wear my seatbelt. Fucking scales open. Where was I? Yeah, up and down, right? But as of the last 3-4 weeks, been picking up, right? Been picking up. Things have been pretty good, which is nice before the holidays, because typically it comes to a little bit of a slow right now, right? And the manufacturing and all that, people aren't buying cars, they ain't buying, they're spending their money on Christmas presents and ho-hos and ding-dongs and wham-whams and zoom-zooms and, all the rest of it, right? All those stocking stuffers. Anyways, I'm going to stuff a few stockings this year myself and get ready for get into the old Christmas spirit. No Grinching over here this year. I decided I was going to stick and stay over here. Stick and stay. I was looking to maybe make a move, right? I weighed out some options, but you got to be really, really, really certain, and you got to make an educated decision. You just can't be willy-nilly, dropping your spot and rolling the dice. Those days are long gone. Long gone. For any of you that have been out here for the length of time that I have, 20 years ago, pert near at this point, 20 years ago, 19 years this year I'll be out here, you could up and, pull into the yard at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, empty your truck and be in another truck 9 o'clock the next morning. Those days are over. Okay? I mean, listen, you still can if you want to go work for these fucking yahoos and cowboys and, Russians and Chicago companies. Yeah, you can still, jump from one company to another, but to have a job that's going to give you, everything that you need, that you're looking for, and that you should be receiving, legitimately, being paid what you deserve, what you're worth, right? Benefits, retirement, all that crap, right? Those jobs, they're far and few between, right? And they're very, very picky. They have the ability to be very, very choosy. So let's get into what's been going on. I mean, there's no, you guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I got the most intelligent viewership on Trucking YouTube right here in the driver's lounge, the most intelligent, educated, viewership. We predicted everything that's going on right now. We predicted 3 years ago on this channel right? We talked about the what's been going on as of lately. Okay, well, they suspended roadside service, right? They suspended roadside service. We were talking about people not moving over and killing people out on the road, disabled vehicles, the inconsideration, the problem with I've been called a racist, I've been called prejudiced, I've been called everything under the sun that has insinuated that I've got some sort of prejudice opinion towards people that aren't Americans, and that's just not true. What I did say, however, is exactly what's going on. What we all said on this channel, which is absolutely true, is that change needed to be made, that the folks that came into this industry during COVID, right, this whole non-domicile bullshit, they destroyed this business, they incinerated this business, they're a detriment to this business, they added zero value to this industry, zero value. They're a leech on this industry. They have no professionalism, zero consideration. Shall I go on? All those things are true. We said all of this 3 years ago. Finally now, everyone's playing catch up. I said it too. I said, unfortunately, people are gonna have to fucking die. Oh, you can't say that, Driver's Lounge. Yeah, no, people had to fucking die, right? So here we are now, all of a sudden we got people's attention, right? It's not enough that you, that it's right in front of your eyes, it's as blatant as the sun, it's right there, everybody can see it, but nobody wants to pull the trigger, right, until catastrophic events occur. And that's what's taken place, catastrophic events, right? And so here we are now. Too little, too late, in my opinion. Too little, too late. I mean, some would argue, well, it's never too late, Driver's Lounge. I disagree with that. I think that the damage has been done. I think that the people, the companies that have been in business for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 fucking years, they no longer are here, right? Due to the lack of regulation, right? The lack of regulation has forced these companies that have been doing business in the trucking industry for near a century, they're no longer here. You cannot turn back the fucking clock. It's too little, too late. Here we are, right? Any of us who are still, who have persevered, anybody who's, I would say has a lot to do with luck, right? A lot of it has to do with luck. A lot of it has to do with your customer base. We've been saying it on this channel, and I'm not saying this to sound cocky or no, like a know-it-all. I'm just saying we've said this, right? You need a direct customer base. These companies that didn't have direct customers, these are the companies that, are no longer with us. They became very vulnerable, right? Very vulnerable. You have to have that direct relationship. We said it here 1,000 times. You need a relationship with the customer, right? You have to be able to say, hey, can I speak to fucking Joe Blow over there at Walmart or, Home Depot or whatever? Can I speak with not like, this? So here we are, right? But yeah, they suspended roadside service. Roadside service, you couldn't pay me enough to do that fucking job. Are you kidding me? They'd have to buy me a new fucking hammer and crescent wrench and pipe wrench and everything else every day of the week, because people be eating those things left, right, and center. Are you kidding? I mean, I can count on one hand in the last 3-4 years how many times I've had to pull off to the side of the road for an emergency roadside, whatever it might be, something to do with the load, the truck, right? But every single time I pull over, inevitably there's trucks, trailers, cars. The worst seems to be these days are these fucking box trucks. And we see it all day long, right? I'm all over the place right now, but I'm just trying not to make this video 1,000 hours. With these box trucks getting pulled into the scales, right? These hot shots, the box trucks, they're targeting them. Are they targeting you? Yes, they're targeting you. Why? Because you're not following the regulation. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. There's too many fucking yahoos, cowboys out there in that industry. There's people right now that are actually saying, hey, come and work over here. You can run this box truck out of Chicago. You don't need a CDL. You don't need air brake endorsement. You don't need a health certificate, nothing. Come over here, run. It's like anything to circumvent the regulations is what these fucking, I don't even want to know what, we've called them all kinds of sort of names, but let's just leave it at the fact of these. They have an inability, they have zero capacity to run under the same regulations that we all have to. We've all had to make adjustments. We've all had to follow the rules, but not for them, right? Rules for thee, not for me. That's their thing, right? Hey, we don't have these rules over here in fucking Pakistan and in India. We don't got these rules over here in Africa. We do what we want. There's no regulation. We fucking dump our used oil down the sewer drains. Oh, wait, there are no fucking storm sewers, right? I mean, they just don't have the capacity to follow the rules. I'll tell you what, a lot of people are saying, this whole idea of English proficiency, it's going to take all these trucks off the road. Yeah, it has taken a few thousand trucks off the road. Whatever your number, everybody's heard a different number. If I had to guess, it's probably in the neighborhood of like 5 to 10,000. I don't know. Who knows, right? But there's been some, right? It has been effective in targeting these people that are running up and down our interstates that can't read, write, speak English, which of course we talked about years ago as well. But here we are now, right? Now who's actually pushing this, right? And I'm going to tell you, it's something else we've talked about, and I've gotten a lot of heat about it. I said all these guys doing line haul, right? All these guys doing line haul work, running up and down this drop and hook work, though your days are numbered. If you do not have a specialized, like if you're not performing, okay? If you're not performing a task in this industry that requires a human being, okay? If you're not in a type of situation, a job in the trucking industry that requires a human touch, your days are numbered. So all these AI non-driver trucks, right? Those are the companies that are pushing the non-domicile, the English proficiency stuff, okay? That's what they need, an in, right? So they're pushing heavy, right? They are pushing heavy on the politicians to make room for these automated vehicles, these driverless trucks. That's what's going to end up happening. Mark my words. That's my belief, Put it in the comments section. Let me know what you think. If you think for a second that the politicians, right, are making all of these changes, right, without being persuaded by dollars, okay, you are naive. You are naive. The reason that all these changes are being made is because they're being paid to make Sean Duffy, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy who, head of transportation, he is making these changes not because a fucking Indian made a U-turn on the turnpike and killed a bunch of people, not because of, the Amazon driver that just was on his phone and went 85 miles into the car. No. Okay? that is the catalyst, that is the reason they're using for these changes. But the reality is that my belief is all of these companies that have invested millions, maybe billions, into these automated trucks, they are putting the squeeze. They're lining the pockets of the politicians, right? And they're saying, this is how we make room. How can they say that a non-English speaking, non-domiciled CDL holder, zero experience, making U-turns on the turnpike is safer than an automated self-driving vehicle? They can't. So now they're going to turn around and say, we don't have enough drivers. We got to implement these. I know you guys are all scared. I know the general public's concerned about it, but hey, we got to move this freight, and we got the answer, right? And it's better than the automated trucks. I can guarantee you one thing: they're not going to be making U-turns on the Florida Turnpike. Okay, I can guarantee you that, right? And this is where we're at in trucking. This is where the fuck we're at, right? And there's going to be more changes to come. I don't have a crystal ball, right? I just make, educated assumptions based on knowledge and experience and, insight. I can't predict the future. But if you ask me, that's what I would say is going to happen, But, other than that, things are pretty good. I'm seeing less piss jugs. I'm seeing less feet being washed in the sinks. To be honest with you, I can't remember the last time that I walked into the fucking public bathroom area in a truck stop. I'll be perfectly honest with you. If I got to use the bathroom, I get a fucking shower. Even if I just got to use the bathroom, right? That's just the truth. I do not go in there. Why? Because you got guys shitting, you got guys coughing, sneezing, all kind. You go in there, you breathe that fucking air, and 3 days later you're sick. Think about it for a second, right? You got to keep yourself. I can't make no money if I'm laid up in the bunker in my bed at home, So I take precautions, right? And if I gotta burn a shower credit on and not be taking a shower, I'm all about it, right? I ain't scared, right? So I go into the truck stops very rarely. I just bought myself I'm gonna test it out for the first time this week. I just bought myself one of these, like a commercial grade panini press. It gets to like 700 degrees, and I got it in the back there. I should show it to you. It's pretty cool. And I got some steaks, and it's got the flat top on the bottom, and then it's got the panini grill on the top, right? So you can actually use that bottom part. It's about yay big, right? About I'd say like a foot deep by about or 18 inches deep by a foot wide, right? So you use that as a flat top. You can cook your eggs on there, right? I mean, it's very versatile. So I'm looking forward to using that. But my point is I very rarely go into the truck stop. I got a kettle. I make my own coffee in here, right? Coffee, tea. Very rarely am I going into the truck stop. Very rarely, right? I don't need receipts. Everything's automated. I mean, truck stops? Nah. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But anyways, let me know in the comment section if you guys can think about something that we can talk about. Maybe I can make a video on it. I mean, there's things changing in the trucking industry. I get a kick out of these guys that go from one company to the next, and they've been there a month or two, and it's the fucking best thing since sliced bread. It's like, oh my God, where has this company been my whole life? Da da da, rah rah rah, right? and like 3 months later it's, well, things aren't, going according to plan, and I don't know what's going on. Things have changed, but, sorry I brought everybody over here, and da-da-da. We've seen that 1,000 times, Come on over to Swift. Things are really great over here 6 weeks later. Yeah, so I'm leaving Swift. Sorry, I told you guys that things were sweet over here. Just be careful. Like I said, going back to make educated decisions, think about the reality. Very, very fucking rarely in this industry, okay? Again, been doing this nearly 20 fucking years now. Very, very rarely. It's only a very small, minuscule amount of time that the grass is ever any fucking greener, okay? I'm telling you that right now. Very rare. Every company has its bullshit. It's nonsense. It's garbage. Every fucking company. This is good. This ain't so fucking good. I like this about this company, not so much about that company. That's the reality, right? And you just have to, and I'll talk about me, I just have to look at the positives and suck up the bullshit, as long as it's not impacting my ability to earn, right? There's certain hard lines I think we all have. Some of those lines are different for some than others, I know what my hard lines are, you know what yours are. But at the end of the day, a bad week or two or a bad month or two at this point shouldn't be enough of a reason for you to leave a company that you've been with for an extended period of time. Because every company, no matter which one you're at, I don't care what fucking company you're at, even Walmart, you're going to have your lulls and you're going to have your peaks and valleys, right? That's this industry. And if you're going to decide that every time things go into the valley or they take a dive, that you're going to hop ship, it ain't going to be fruitful. It ain't. It's just my opinion. But, here, that's the video, guys. Just wanted to pop on, say hello, see what's up. And I hope everyone's going to be safe. It's coming to that time of the year again. What can you say? Don't set your fucking trailer brakes. If you don't know, there it is, okay? There's my tip for you for the winter. If there's anyone new that's listening to this, don't set your fucking trailer brakes this winter, okay? Okay? All right? And other than that, have a great day, have a great week. Leave a comment, say hello to your old buddy Driver's Lounge, and I'll catch you on the next video. Driver's Lounge over and out.